Hey, welcome back to Evil's Comics. I'm Evil Mike. This is going to be my review on The Me You Love in the Dark by Image Comics. Let's see, story by Scottie Young, art by Jorge Corona, colors by Jean-Francois Beaulieu, and lettering by Nate Piekos of Blambot. Jack K asked me to, Jack K, he asked me to do this, so I'm doing it. I had already read this book when it came out, on the release. I just didn't do a review because I was kind of hung up on the, I didn't have the physical comic, but I did read it digitally. I have it right here to do it again. So I went back and reread it to refresh because it has been a couple weeks since this, book came out. The one thing that, without having to go back in the other books, I couldn't remember the name, but we are following Ro, I think is her name, and she has recently bought and moved into a house, and she is, she was looking for inspiration for her art, and she believed that it had to do with her surroundings and stuff like that, hence her buying this house, and it had the right kind of horror elements or something that she was looking for. After she moved into the house, she has been introduced to its tenant, which is a something we don't really know at this time, and we don't know at the end of this issue either. It's just it's kind of seen throughout the most of the book as a ghost, but it looks like many different things, because you do see we as the readers get to see that it has like many different eyes and mouths and arms and stuff like that. Basically it's kind of like the blackness, and it's a whole bunch of stuff in there. From Ro's side of it, all she sees is usually like, the two hands, two legs, a mouth, but she only sees pieces of it. Usually the rest of it is surrounded in the darkness kind of thing. But as the book has gone moving forward, it's really just about this new relationship that they are forming, because as far as we know, it's not like a evil presence or anything like that. It's that they have conversations, talk about different stuff, and that's where this story kind of continues on with, because this book is just it's basically them, and it just shows them going along, and she's getting more into the art side. We already saw from the second issue that she is painting again. She's supposed to be getting ready for an exhibit that her dealer wants to set her up with, so she needs to get the paintings done, and we did see that she's finally getting that inspiration to do so. So continuing forward, they show her painting a lot, to the point where the ghost, and I'm going to call him Ghost for now, but the ghost is kind of there's some times where it's like, hey, stop painting, come talk to me or play with me. And they even show scenes where he goes and puts the music on, and he gets her to dance, and you do see that, she's dancing and everything, and she's physically holding something, but you see kind of like a shadowy type of figure. This thing makes different types of shapes. Like I mentioned, sometimes it's just two hands coming down from the ceiling kind of thing. It's very strange, but so there's a bunch of moments where they show like them getting along, them having like movie nights, stuff like that. And there's even some times where she gets so drunk off of wine or something as they're having a good night together, that he even takes her to bed and takes care of her, that kind of thing. And there's no kind of like he's taking advantage of her, doing some weird creepy ghost or demon stuff like that. It's not even presented in that fashion. Generally how the book reads is it's just this like budding new relationship between this girl and this weird entity, but if you take the weird entity out of it, it's just like a new friend kind of thing. And even continuing further in this issue, that's how it kind of plays it, because it does go over. It starts off like in fall or something like that, and it jumps forward to like around Thanksgiving time, and then it even does Christmas and them enjoying Christmas movies and stuff like that. I think eventually it does get up to her birthday, but eventually during all this, the dealer does call, and he's, requesting that she produce some of the paintings for the exhibit. And she, at this point, she is telling him that she has the paintings, but she does still need a little more time, kind of thing. But going back, I think it's either her birthday or it's a Christmas present. I want to say it's a Christmas present. I'm trying to find real quick. Yeah, I want to say it's a Christmas present. But the ghost does tell her that he does have a Christmas present, and that they are friends and that kind of stuff. And he does take her to a part of the house that when he does like blindfold her as they're going into the room, but the room is all dark anyways. She does sit down and open her eyes, and it's all dark and everything. And then he does light a candle, and when he lights the candle, and there is like a glass of wine that he has there, and basically in the room it's like a ton of different paintings, and I'm not 100% positive if all these are her paintings or if they're just paintings that are throughout the house, and some of hers are mixed in there. But it's just a circular form of paintings that are screwed around the room above her, and they're floating. And he kind of goes into detail about like how he's, she mentioned about his age, and how for him that doesn't really apply, kind of thing, because he's more of an entity, he's not a person anymore, kind of thing. And at first, when she first met him, it was on the assumption that it was like one person, type of ghost. And he keeps hinting that that's not really what he is, but with all the representations of the pictures and stuff, that's his way of kind of explaining, that he's more than one person, maybe, that he could be a whole bunch of different people, or maybe not even people, we don't even know at this point. But she is really taken in by the gift and the whole beauty of it and everything, and it is really cool to view, like, and even in picture form, how he, how he sets it up for and everything, and how all the paintings are floating or appearing to, float. But this is where the book gets a little weird, and a lot of people kind of noted this in the book, but there is a scene at this point where she felt like the friendship has, moved on, and maybe in her eyes, she's, they've connected in the right ways, and basically she takes the entity upstairs, and the entity, it gets to a certain point where like the entity is off limits in the story, and that's the bedroom. That she kind of made him promise a long time ago that he wasn't doing any kind of ghostly stuff to see her in the nude fashion or anything like that. And of course, in the beginning, and even now, he is hesitant about going forward in the bedroom. And she's like, oh, you don't need to worry about that. And when they go into the bedroom, she starts undressing, and the next thing we see is kind of the shadowy figure kind of making out with her while she is still continuing to further getting dressed. So it looks like they're about to have the sexual relationships kind of thing. And that's where the book ends off. It has a whole bunch of lightning flashes from outside. But really that's where the book kind of lets off, and just basically says it will be continued in the next issue. It kind of reminds me of like the movie Ghost and stuff like that and stuff, but in that story, it was about connected lovers and stuff like that, and it had more meaning. I'm not going to say this didn't have meaning. So far it's a great read. It's wonderful. I'm really, curious about multiple things at this point, but like, what's to come out of what happened at the end kind of thing is a big curiosity. How does that play out? It could go on the funny side where he becomes, we get to see the ugly version of him, and he turns out, I don't know, it can go in a whole bunch of different ways. I'm hoping it stays on the same path, because overall the book has been lighthearted and just a friendly tale kind of thing. It hasn't really been creepy or scary kind of thing. Yes, the sex scene, you could definitely say that was creepy, but in the overall feel of everything, it is still going on the, friendly and, it has horror qualities to it, but it's not necessarily scary or horrific or anything in that realm. But hey, that's my review. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know if you read it. I mean, it's been out for about 3 weeks now. I've been waiting for the next issue. I've really loved the story. It's definitely a book that I suggest to people to read if they have not read it, because it's a very quick read and the art is just amazing. Amazing. Come on, Scottie Young. But the story is really intriguing too. For me, there is enough questions that have kept me going from issue to issue, and honestly, when I get down to it, that's what I want. So that's my review, guys. All right, guys. I'll see y'all later. Bye.